It's a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. Pujols into the air. It's deep to left. Taylor's back at the wall. And 700. On fly ball. Deep left. There it goes. Soaring into history. Fastball hit to left. It is long gone.
Hello and welcome to Swing for Contact's baseball podcast. It is episode 10. It is March 22nd, 2023. Team Japan has just won the World Baseball Classic, and we're here to break it down, talk about Team USA, where it goes from here, and get excited for opening day, now just 1 week away. Boys, what is your initial thoughts on the Japan win from last night?
First of all, I'm not a boy. That's it. I'm just kidding. I think that game was most possibly the funnest game, like nerve-wracking, entertaining game I've ever watched. Even though like there weren't a lot of like flashy moments, if you will. I mean, I was at work while watching it, but it was so like enticing, and I was very drawn into it until the final pitch and that Cinderella ending. Like, come on, that was probably the best moment in baseball we're gonna see. So,
I had a hard time watching it because of a couple streaming issues, but I got to see most of it. I don't think that it could have happened for a better country, like baseball-wise. I would have really loved if we would have won it, but I feel like Japan was probably the best country for that to happen to. Fun fact, 97.4% of TVs in Japan were playing that game. So I thought that was really cool. The ratings, of course, are always big on the World Baseball Classic. Can't wait for 2026. Seems like we were kind of all right about who was going to win it after pool play. Like they look like the favorites, but they kind of won in a way that I didn't expect. I think all of us kind of expected a so-called shootout, especially with our pitchers. Like, I didn't think our pitching was going to be as good, but I really don't think that's why we lost the other night. I think the USA lost because they just couldn't get anyone in. I believe we had more hits, but it was just no one could drive a runner in, it felt like. I believe 2 solo shots were the only scoring we had.
The issue when you build a team around your lineup, when your lineup is your selling point, is that it only takes one cold day at the office for your lineup to not produce, right? And in a one game winner take all format, in tournament style play, like if your lineup goes cold, then that's it. You know, you can get the best pitching performance out of your kind of mid-range guys that you want, but if your lineup goes cold and that's what your team is built around, it's a bad place to be in. Like, we knew the Team USA had a pretty strong bullpen, felt pretty good about the bullpen arms, didn't feel great about the starting rotation arms. Merrill Kelly gets knocked out kind of early just because we're being very aggressive with, not wanting to get deep in that game and get into a hole early in that game. Yeah. And so we get into our bullpen fairly quick. So at that point, I felt that we were going to be able to limit some of the damage by Japan. But, if the lineup goes cold, it's hard to score runs. I mean, it's kind of the way the Phillies were built in the playoffs a little bit. Like, you have obviously Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are two of the best in Major League Baseball, but like their team identity was the lineup.
Yeah.
And, going back to the World Series, they go out and they hit, the most home runs in one World Series game ever against Lance McCullers in Game 3. And you're like, oh my gosh, this Philly lineup. And then you go back to the last few games of the WBC and oh man, this Team USA lineup is insane. We're just popping runs like crazy for 3 games straight. And then you ran into Christian Javier. And then your lineup goes cold for the rest of the series. And, if you're built around the lineup, it makes one game winner take all situations dangerous because you might not be able to produce on any given day. Especially when you have some of those arms like Japan has. When you're bringing out Yu Darvish and Shohei Ohtani out of the bullpen, your starter goes. They changed the starter up, kind of the projected starter up on Team USA kind of late to a guy that they've never seen before. It's hard to score runs, and if your lineup goes cold, it's a kind of a bad place to be in. But no, you brought up the ending. Obviously, the Mike Trout Ohtani clips are probably going to be the most watched baseball clips ever, potentially.
Yeah.
And it really kind of felt like as one of those sports scripted moments. Like they joked pregame, like, "Oh man, what if we get the Ohtani Trout situation?" Or will Ohtani be able to pitch? And sure enough, that fool goes to the bullpen, starts to kind of get loose and go through his routine, has to run back to the dugout to go hit, runs back to the bullpen, loosens up, comes in, and then closes the game out. Like, the legend of Ohtani just keeps rising. What's your takeaway on what the two-way unicorn means to baseball after the WBC and his performance?
One thing that I was thinking about concerning like him being the two-way unicorn, I feel like this might be like a bad example. Like there's a main villain in a movie, right? And then like in the second movie, there's like 5 of those guys, And so for me, I feel like this is like the beginning of seeing more and more and more two-way players. Aiden mentions it every day, how that pitcher from LSU is going to be a future Ranger. There's just you're seeing more two-way players pop up, and I feel like he's going to be the main guy that looks back at it. But yeah, that moment, it was just like, it was awesome. I was just zoned in. Nothing else mattered except that Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani moment.
Hey.
Noah kind of summed it up pretty well. I do think that it's kind of going to open up into more people trying it. At least it's extremely hard to do. So I don't know if players are going to be able to come up and still do it. Paul Skinnis, I may butcher the last name. He's the guy from LSU that I really think the Rangers are going to look at with their first pick.
Hey, I need you to get a little bit clearer in your mic. You're kind of muffled.
Clear. My bad. But Paul Skinnis, that guy from LSU, he's really one of the guys. You watch him, he looks like he could be a two-way player. He rakes, but he is just such a good pitcher. I wouldn't mind if I really want the Rangers to take him, and I wouldn't mind if they told him, "Hey, we just want you to pitch." Like, I don't know how teams are going to look at the two-way thing. I don't think they're going to be as open to it as the Angels kind of were with Shohei.
Yeah, here's the thing I think that we all need to kind of maybe look at from a different scope, is that Shohei Ohtani, not to pull a Ben Verlander here, but like, he is probably the greatest baseball player in the world at any given point in time. There's people that have had like long careers and finished their careers and have numbers and have stats and are, Willie Mays. He may never have Willie Mays numbers, but like,
he's definitely the most skilled. Like, I get where you're going
in terms of like the most talented player, to ever play baseball, like to be able to do what he does in the two-way sense. I don't know that you'll ever in your lifetime will ever see a guy that can do that at that level for both sides.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Now, I do think you are going to find there's going to be more and more people that maybe try it. Everyone that plays high school baseball in America, at least, like you typically will play a position and pitch. Like, all 3 of us have taken the mound. All 3 of us have played positions. All 3 of us have swung it in the batter's box. But like, to find a guy that can do it at that level, he hit a ball 110 last night. He threw a ball 102 last night, and then he ran like a 5 flat down first base, something like that. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid what he can do, and I think it opens the door for more potential candidates. I think you'll have more and more people try it, but I don't think anyone will ever in your lifetime reach the same pinnacle that you're watching right now. I don't know that we're like really taking that into account, like how special it is. Because because I'm looking at some of the stats through World Baseball Classic, and down here on this list, Shohei Ohtani hit 435, had a 606 on base, a 739 slugging, so a 1.3 plus OPS. Had a home run, drew 10 walks, stole a base, and he also pitched to the tune of 9 and 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts, a .7 WHIP, and had a 152 opponent batting average. And tournament style play against some of the best players in the world, and just dropped it on both sides, and deserved that MVP. Probably, maybe the most hands down, like, oh yeah, you're the MVP of this thing, without question.
Most definitely, yeah.
So Team USA, if you're Team USA, there were some question marks coming in with the pitching. There were some question marks about who's going to play what. I think you're fairly pleased making it to the championship game, but like, what changes do you want Team USA to make in 3 years from now?
Okay, so when you mentioned last night, I think we were talking, and you're like, guys, like the reason why USA didn't win is because you have guys like Aaron Judge, baseball gods that don't want to play. And that's one thing I kind of wanted to get into.
I did say that kind of tongue in cheek, like
yeah,
that was kind of a joke.
No, I totally get why Judge didn't play. He just got named captain.
Yeah.
Kind of wants to be there with the younger guys. Kind of like, I get that. I don't feel like us missing people from the lineup was that big of a problem. We missed a lot of pitchers.
No, that's what I was going to get into.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Our starting rotation. I mean, y'all heard the comments I had to say about Wainwright, old man Wainwright, walking out with his cane. Like, what are we doing? Like, you have all this star, and yes, I get it. Like, Adolis did it too. He wanted to focus on the team, on the Rangers. I totally get that. And some guys want to have that prevention of injury. I get it. But, I mean, if you just see how deep Japan was with their pitching staff, it's ridiculous. Like, guys I haven't even heard of, now I know everything about. And so I think we mentioned it before, the main thing why USA didn't win is because the pitching. I think the bullpen did okay. I think they did pretty good, actually. Devin Williams came in, with a 1-2-3 inning, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I think
our pitching was pretty good that last game.
What's up?
I think our pitching was pretty good that last game. I don't think it was.
It was. I just think to sum
Take the last game out, because again, we've already talked about the last game. The main issue, we didn't hit with runners on scoring position and blah blah blah. The lineup went cold in a championship game.
Yeah,
but like,
definitely.
All in all, from a team construction standpoint, like here's the point that's going to drive Noah's point home. I think the Team USA pitching staff. Okay, we had one person in the top 20 in the tournament in the strikeout category. Okay, Lance Lynn finished 11th in the tournament, tied for 11th in the tournament with 8 strikeouts. Team Japan, Yamamoto had 12, Ohtani had 11, Sasaki had 11. They had 3 in the top 5. From a roster standpoint, the Team Japan pitching was just so far above everyone else. Between the 3 names I just said, they also had Toshi Togo and Miyagi and another guy on here. They had, half their pitchers were in the top 20 in strikeouts in the tournament. They had their dudes, their aces delivering, along with, some of their best hitters in all of Japan making their lineup. So like, they had a Team USA version of the Team USA lineup from Japan, but their roster construction was built around pitching, and that's why they went flawless. They ran the table.
I was watching, I think it was Mookie Betts and Mike Trout, and I totally agreed with them. Like, they're saying there's nothing, I might misquote this, but there's nothing more special than wearing your country's name on your jersey and getting to compete and represent your country, and how they wanted like more of the star players to come and join, and I totally agree with it. But I agree with the fact that if you don't want to because of certain reasons, okay, but I rest my case.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it a couple podcasts back when we were talking about this, and we all kind of said that Japan was probably going to win it. Their chemistry just kind of outmatched every other team's, and I really feel like that's kind of what kind of how we lost. They're so much more in tune with each other. I felt like these guys aren't gonna come back and compete against each other. Like they don't have any of that between them. I mean, these guys are just however many people are on a roster going out there to play solely for their country, not having to worry about, hey, this guy isn't gonna be my friend in a month or so. Like Team USA needs that chemistry, I think. And I just don't think I think it hit too late. It kind of clicked too late. Hey, Noah, something's going crazy in the background.
Yeah, Noah's dog's racking up.
I'm gonna. Oh my god.
Mute your mic real quick and go do stuff.
It's good. I think it's good.
We're okay. We're okay. We're good.
Keep that in.
We'll just leave it.
Yeah. So, is there anything else on the WBC? I just think it was so much fun to watch. I was very sad that it was over because I looked forward to watching it every day.
Yeah, it's really like it has filled the void of like meaningful baseball, especially because like spring training games have not been as televised as I was kind of hoping they were gonna be this year.
Televise all spring training games.
I mean, all the stadiums are pretty much hooked up for it. I don't know why they're not televising more of them, but I'm sure there's political reasons inside baseball as to why they're not. But would like to see more of that happen. So for the last 2 weeks, man, like it is quite literally consumed all of my free time is like watching WBC. So
yeah,
for part of me is like kind of glad it's over so I can like get back to like normal scheduled programming, but I'm gonna miss it for sure.
So
I gotta
go ahead. Sorry.
I gotta get a game in 2026. Like we gotta go. I really want to go to a WBC game, and I'm upset that I don't have the funds to go this year.
WBC boys trip in 3 years.
We got.
Hopefully the SFC can pay for it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So I just wanted to mention the all-world baseball team.
Ooh,
tournament.
Yeah, hit me.
So we got at catcher, we got Salvador Perez from Venezuela.
He's raking.
Please forgive me if I butcher these names. Got Yu Chang at first base from the Chinese Taipei. Javier Baez at second from Puerto Rico. Yohan Moncada at third from Cuba. Obviously, Captain America Trey Turner at shortstop. And then the outfield, you got Randy Arozarena, Asataka Yoshida. I think I got that right. And Mike Trout. And then at DH, you've got Shohei Ohtani. And then at pitching, you've got Shohei Ohtani, Patrick Sandoval, and Miguel Romero from Cuba.
I believe Trey Turner and Randy, they were the two unanimous ones, right? They've got like a little indication on their names.
I'm
pretty sure them had like some little special indicator.
Yeah, just electric, man. Just electric, especially Randy.
Dude, he's in big moments. He just turns into something else.
Real.
What if I think I said this to Coach Ramey the other day? What if this WBC kind of turns around Javi Baez?
So Baez has always had a flair for the dramatic. He's always been a big game kind of guy, and I don't know if it's just like the drag of 162 or what, but I think a career resurgence from Baez following the WBC would be a lot of fun.
When you're in Detroit, what excitement's going on in there? Sorry, Detroit, but man.
They got Spencer Torkelson. Maybe he'll prove not to be a complete bust. He's young.
Torkelson, or whatever your name is. All right, no more slander. Okay.
Okay, let's get into some more MLB baseball kind of news. So with Harper, obviously the team has not elected to put him on the 60-day IL yet, is the key word here. They still can place him on the 60-day IL if they feel like they need to, and it would just go retroactive to the previous insert time so that he wouldn't have to like lose those days from the 60-day. But as of right now, they're planning on him being on the 15-day or the 10-day and starting kind of baseball activities, starting to maybe he started swinging a bat in cages and like tee work, but he hasn't faced live pitching yet, but he's kind of planning on starting facing live pitching soon. So if Harper is back early, is he now a guy that is back into MVP considerations, or do you consider him maybe a slow start, give him some time, put him at DH and give him time off and let him kind of build himself up to the second half?
I'm going to be honest. Even if he was healthy, right now, I'd probably have him in the top 5. But actually, I'd probably give him top 3. But I've really got one guy in the NL that I really think is going to win it. It's Juan Soto. I don't know. I don't see it right now because I don't, like you said, I don't think he's going to come back and immediately be in the field. I think he's going to DH for a bit like he did last year. But that's just how I see it. I think
I agree with Aiden a little bit. I think obviously you're going to see him at DH first, and I mean, it's like you mentioned, he did it. I mean, he was pretty electric last year while doing it, or whenever he got hurt. So I mean, can he do it again? I don't know. I think I agree with Aiden. A bit of Juan Soto MVP over there, but he's definitely always going to be in the conversation. So.
Bringing up Soto is good because he also just had a recent strain on his left oblique, which oblique strains in baseball are kind of scary because they can be pretty nagging for a while. The club doesn't seem very worried about it. I think he went for an MRI, and there's a minimal strain and no significant inflammation is what I have in front of my eyes right now. Long-term things, I don't think there's anything crazy here, but, he might be kind of slow out the gate. He might not even like start opening day. He might be a week or two. They might give him like a week off to get the oblique right and then kind of work himself back into the lineup. But just something to kind of keep in mind, oblique strain from Soto. But again, I don't think it's something that they're very worried about. And then Joe Musgrove has started his bullpen sessions. And it looks like he's going to be full go pretty soon. He's probably 2 or 3 weeks behind everyone else in terms of pitching right now, but he'll be back on the mound for the Fathers at some point, probably in April. Jose Altuve had his surgery today for his thumb, which shoot me in the face, but that's probably going to be about 2 months dealing with that. So a combination of Mauricio Dubon and David Hensley, I guess, will be playing up the middle for the Astros for a while.
I mean, knowing y'all, they'll turn into the AL MVP.
It'd be a good problem to have. Yordan Alvarez makes his spring training debut tomorrow. He'll start seeing live pitching in games tomorrow. And then I believe Hunter Brown was scratched from a start today with a little lower back tightness, but lower back tightness I'm not too worried about. I don't think the club seems very worried about. He'll probably be back on the mound in a day or two as well. Looking for other injuries here, and nothing that has been new or recent. Carlos Rodon did begin a throwing program late last week or over the weekend. So I think he's probably back on track to, he won't be ready for opening day, but he'll be back in the conversation for the Yankees soon. So it looks like there's no major issues in their rotation on the Carlos Rodon end anyway. So anything that I just brought up, player wise, injury wise, any red flags or stuff that you guys are looking for storylines out of?
So this isn't. Go ahead. I'm good.
You go.
Okay. So I don't think there's any major red flags. It's very unfortunate to see what happened to Altuve. Never want to see that, especially with one of your star players. I did want to bring up Brandon Nimmo for a minute. I didn't know if we wanted to save that for the end of the episode. Did y'all see what he said and what happened to him?
So I didn't see his quote, and so that's why I didn't bring it up. So enlighten me.
So I don't want to misquote it either, so I'm gonna look it up. But anyways, it was something along the lines of, WBC is meaningless. There's no reason you need to play in it. It's preventative of injuries if you don't play. And then I think not even the next day he gets hurt.
Oh, Nemo had those thoughts on the WBC.
Yeah. Let me open it on Twitter real quick. Sorry for the delay.
I know he like had a sprain in his right knee and his ankle, but he thinks he's still gonna be back for opening day. He thinks it was just like a very minor grade issue.
I was just seeing memes on Twitter and stuff like cancel spring training. Spring training isn't safe for players to prevent injuries. Just cancel the whole season to prevent injuries. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was hilarious. Not that he got hurt, but just the irony of it.
Aiden, got anything?
So I don't have anything on the injuries, but I do have kind of cool story coming out right now. Mike Soroka made his debut today. Since I think his last start was in 2020.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's been a while, man. I'm wondering kind of what's going to happen. I don't know if he's last time he pitched. I mean, I don't know how he's going to come back. No one's really, I'm guessing, expecting him to come back how he was. But if he did, that just adds a whole nother part to the Braves, and I may have to add them up on my little projection. Now I think I've got them under.
Yeah, I think getting Soroka back along with like Max Fried and Charlie Morton continues to do it regardless how old he gets. He just keeps spinning the curveball as well as anybody. The Atlanta Braves are set up as an organization. They have depth and they have talent across the board. So just getting Soroka back is like the extra like gravy on top. Like it's just bonus at that point for them. So yeah, that's a good pickup for that team. I did want to bring another kind of cool story up. So like we're talking about the USA Japan game a lot, but the Japan Mexico game the night before, watching Patrick Sandoval do what he did, I don't think that guy gets enough credit for pitching. Like the storyline was obviously all about the Japanese young guy, Sasuke, and what he is, and obviously incredible. And there was a lot of storylines about him because of who he is and what he can be probably in the majors at some point in the future. But Patrick Sandoval went in with no hype at all, and the full-on underdog in the pitching matchup, and matched him pitch for pitch. And just want to give a quick shout out to Patrick Sandoval before I got too far away. I was just looking at the headlines, and his name popped up, and just the Angels rotation with Ohtani, Sandoval, and Tyler Anderson. Those top three guys can be pretty solid, I think. And then if a Reed Dittmers and Jose Suarez kind of take that next step forward, Dittmers was a part of that no hitter last year, and so like he's got some magic in his arm. And I don't like to talk bad about the Angels, but the organizational history for the last several years has kind of forced it on us in a way. But you know what? If everything clicks right for that rotation with an Ohtani, Sandoval, Anderson 1, 2, 3, there's some potential there if Sandoval can find that magic and be that guy consistently. Let's see. As far as other news around the league, teams are starting to kind of get through their major league cuts. Rosters are starting to get trimmed down some. Are there any cuts or options that have surprised you, either from like a Rangers end or just from a Major League Baseball standpoint?
Not really for me, no.
I know one of the big moves, the Mets dropped Francisco Alvarez down to their AAA team. So I think he was kind of a long shot regardless. to make their opening day squad, but he has been sent back down to minor league baseball. I think the Yankees they sent down Dominguez, and then Volpe is still, I think, up currently, and so that's one to kind of keep an eye on. I still don't know what they're going to do with their 5 middle infielders that they have, but I'm sure one of them moves to a full-time outfield spot at some point. And other than that, I really haven't seen any like big name guys since last time I looked at it, or seen any news today or yesterday about guys getting pushed down. As far as the Rangers go, where are they sitting with like Foscue and Young? I'm assuming Young is still up, and I'm not sure about Foscue.
Young is the everyday starter, like at third. Like
he solidified. He is that guy right now.
Yeah, he's already that guy. He kind of started slow in spring training, but he's always had a really good bat and eye, and I think he just had to get used to it, and he's starting to get used to the MLB pitching. It is just spring training, but he started mashing a couple more homers. His average is in the 360s, which at spring training I like. Like, it's not going to be in the 360s or even the 300s in the regular season, but you know, you like to see spring training.
It's never a bad thing to see.
I don't think he's got to move down yet.
And then is Bubba Thompson going to be fully up, you think, or is he going to be a guy that might have to move up and down some?
I think he's going to move up and down some. He's kind of struggled.
What on
I think that right now they're. Oh,
go ahead.
My bad.
Nope.
So I think they got Grossman with the intentions of platooning him, like we kind of said. But I think he's kind of in spring training. You don't see a lot of like they do stuff that solidifies something. I think he's kind of solidified himself as the everyday guy out in left field. We kind of have a problem with Taveras getting injured. I think that's where you could see Bubba Thompson, Josh Smith, and maybe Brad Miller platooning themselves until Taveras comes back. But I don't know. We'll find out.
Gotcha. I saw a couple other names that I did see. The Giants picked up a Sergio Romo a couple days ago, which is a fun, unique thing. And Mark Appel, after his long journey up to the majors last year, finally, he was actually, I think, outright released by Philadelphia. So he might still be looking for a home, or he might be calling it quits. Not sure yet. Zach Green was claimed off waivers to the Yankees, which I thought was an interesting move. But obviously, at this late in camp, there's not a whole lot of action going on in terms of like signings and waivers. But the Sergio Romo contract going back to San Francisco, I thought was kind of fun. He's been doing it for a long time, and obviously had some big games as his time as a Giant.
I remember I was on YouTube one day, and he was on the show with someone, and they give like the players their own 99 card,
right?
So like he was using that card, and that's every time I think about Sergio Romo, I think about him having his own 99 card in the show. Trying to see if they'll give Philip one.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be
imagine me with a Philip Norton 99 card.
I love it. We've got to make that happen somehow. Dude, I was looking at this little shelf over here, so I've got my old consoles from my childhood and teenage years, and this PlayStation 2 sitting here with MVP 2005, and I know exactly where to find Philip Norton on that game because I've used him a number of times growing up. It was really funny when I had that realization a few years back, because I can like picture his like face on the game. Like I remember exactly what it looked like in 2005 and in that game for old Phil. Shout out to Aiden's dad. Let's see. Gosh. Any other news that we need to talk about? We're about 30 minutes in here, so we're kind of at a good point. Any last second things from spring training before we get into the final segment?
I think we're pretty good. Who was the closer for Mexico that ended up
That was Giovanni Gallegos for the St. Louis Cardinals.
He may not survive the next week.
I mean, he's solidified in the majors, but like it was definitely not his best performance.
I'm not. Never mind.
Shut up, Aiden. Shut up, dude.
Dude, I would worry if I was him.
All right.
Anyways, on to the next.
on to this final little thing here. So opening day is a week away. Noah, you have said that you're going to Rangers opening day. Is that still in the cards?
It's on the table. I just have to buy the tickets. Let me talk, and I'll interrupt you with how much the prices are.
Okay, while you pull those up, I will not be going to the Astros opening day night, unfortunately. But what I will be doing is I will be watching it at the house and do a live stream reaction for that. And so we'll jump on Twitch like we did for the first week of spring training. Start kind of pumping that stuff around because I want to get into a groove where we get our weekly baseball interactions with people and try to grow some stuff that way. So on opening night, the Houston Astros play Chicago White Sox on ESPN, and we will be doing a ESPN Gamecast on the Twitch stream. So that'll be a fun time. If you're into coming hanging out and watching ball, we'll be doing that. And the show comes out this week as well. Early access comes out in a couple days. Then the full game comes out early next week. Aiden, you have said that you intend on streaming night one, correct?
So, actually, I do have a question about that. So, you've gotten early access before, right?
Yes.
So, it usually does come out at 12 a.m. the day of?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I will be streaming that. I think you need to add my Twitch link to the links. Then I'll be good to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
What?
I found where I want to sit. I usually like sitting right field at Globe Life Field. I just always have liked sitting in the outfield.
Pay for left field, right field.
So left field is the all-you-can-eat section. $232.
Oof.
One ticket. So probably close to $260 with taxes and stuff. But where I want to sit, it is the row right behind the bullpen. It's $144.
Oh my goodness!
I just screw it. I YOLO.
YOLO, baby.
Yeah.
Currently at Minute Maid for opening night, I think the cheapest thing is $89, and that is in the highest of nosebleeds.
I'm telling you, pay for the $89, then look on SeatGeeks for open seats closer, and you go sit in those.
And you're talking about opening night in Houston, where they're unveiling the trophy.
Okay, sorry. I'm thinking about Texas Rangers. There's usually some open seats,
right.
But Houston World Series winners probably doesn't have it.
You're not finding that this game. Now, obviously, in some games,
that's what we do.
That comes available, especially to college students.
Let's not give our strategy away. Yeah. SeatGeek, we love you.
Yeah, shout out SeatGeek. Give us a call.
But yeah, the sponsors. The cheapest one I can find is $97 in the nosebleed in row 7. But like the nosebleeds in Texas, dude, they're not good.
Yeah, they're kind of not that great.
They're not good.
I've got tickets for March 3rd, that Sunday game, in section 105, and I paid about $80 in total for it. I'm not excited for it, but it's the first ring giveaway of the year, so I had to go capitalize on that somehow. So we'll be going to that game. But
UCS, we're going on the 15th, right? Or the 14th?
Whatever that Friday is, that first Rangers game in Houston.
Yeah, if y'all see us, come just give us a handshake. We'll sign your jerseys for you.
Yeah, for sure. That's what. It is April 14th, Friday, April 14th. Yes. We'll be there. So that'll be a good time. But we'll talk more about that when we get a little bit closer to it. Now that baseball is in basically full gear, we'll be trying to grow this thing a little bit more and doing some more content-based stuff. And so hopefully we get a little bit more presence here in Houston and in Dallas. I think that would be really good for us. So, all right, I think we're going to wrap it up right here. We're right at about 40 minutes. That's plenty of time. And I'm out of things to talk about with WBC. Shohei Ohtani, best player on planet Earth in baseball. Maybe some more two ways, but maybe never you'll see this performance type of stuff ever again. Some injury stuff. Wishing guys well, getting ready for the season quick recoveries, and we'll just go from there. Hopefully next time Team USA gets to take the field, we'll have some more superstar pitching. And hopefully in the championship game, the bats don't go cold. So that will do it for us, and we will be back next week with a opening day special, and we will see you then.